firstly, let me introduce myself. If you guys are already on this live, I'm assuming that you are either following me or the person who's going to join us on the live tonight. So my name is Nitya Shetty, and born and brought up in Hyderabad. Been in the entertainment industry for as long as I can remember. Um, and a lot of people don't know this about me, although I have specifically mentioned that in my Instagram bio that I'm not just an actor. I have started my entrepreneurial journey a couple of years ago, and it's been an amazing experience. I think I have gotten to explore so many different aspects of life in general, and I've gotten to meet such amazing people. And so when I decided that I'll go live, right, I didn't know what I should talk about. Should I just like keep it casual? But that's something a lot of people do, especially people from my industry. And so whenever I have questions, there's one person that I reach out to. Like I've mentioned on my stories, I call him my coach because he has been my coach through all these years of me, since I've started the business basically. And we started talking, and we decided that we'd collaborate and talk about something interesting, something productive, something that uh, all of you can actually put in practice. And we are trying to give you like couple of multiple perspectives of the same thing. So he's been very kind and gracious to uh, be a part of this. So let me not take too much time in talking about myself and the agenda. You guys know it. The topic is 3 C's for success. You will eventually find out what we mean by that. But let me tell you a little bit about the person who will be joining us. Um, so I fondly call him coach. I refer to him as coach in our general conversation as well. And his name is Mr. Rahul. And I met him a couple of years ago. And my first impression of him was that I have to be very mindful while talking to him, because I'm someone who hates numbers. Like, I'm really bad with math, and this person is all about numbers. He does such difficult calculations so effortlessly, and it amazed me. And he always told me one thing: if it is possible on paper, like if you can prove it with numbers, you can, it's possible practically as well. And I remember going shopping with him at the Dubai Mall, and I was so fascinated uh, because it's very new to me that guys would be interested in shopping first of all. And he would just walk in and he'd be like, okay, let's pick this, let's pick that. And he was so enthusiastic. And that's my fondest memory of him. But through these last couple of years, he's been that one person that I always reached out to when I had a lot of confusion, not just regarding business or life, generally, in day-to-day things, be it my acting career or anything. So I can't wait for you guys to meet him. So I'm not going to waste any more time, and let me quickly invite him. um, just wait for him to join. Hi, coach.
Hello, Nitya. How are you?
I am fantastic. Really excited to do this live tonight. How have you been? How was your day?
All good, all good, all amazing. So, first of all, is my audio video all clear? All good, right?
Yeah, it's all clear.
Perfect, perfect. So, even I am super excited, I would say. I would first like to thank you for accepting my request to do Insta Live with me.
I was so nervous because, firstly, I haven't done Insta Live in such a long time. And you're someone that I've always looked up to. So, discussing important things with you in front of so many people gave me jitters. But I know once we start talking, we'll just go with the flow.
Yeah, let's go with the flow. Let's just exchange our thoughts, and whatever we have been through, correct, in your journey and my journey, correct. And I
Right,
think that's what everybody want, correct, that if we can just share our journeys, basically, correct.
right, absolutely. So I think I'll quickly jump into the topic of discussion here today. So the first question I want to ask you, Rahul, is so before I started acting, I was into a couple of businesses. I started an export company. I was a part of branding company, multiple things like this. The reason I'm saying multiple things is because I did not stick on to anything. I started and it felt like, okay, this is not working out. So let's drop it. Let's try something else. Let's try something else. And I'm sure that we all know people who have started some sort of business, but then they just dropped out. So I want to ask you, what is it that kept you holding on uh, to this business through this entrepreneur journey of yours? Because I have seen you in the last couple of years, and I have seen how heartful, how passionate you are about this. So, what keeps you going? How do you do it?
Okay, I think you should have told this question before I would have come prepared, correct? Because you have asked a very difficult question, okay, to start with. Okay, uh, so I believe, Nitya, I think it's nothing different which I did. I think all of us have it within us, okay? And I think it has been part of us from childhood, right? But what I feel, Nitya, like you said, you tried a lot of things, okay? Or, you were doing couple of things, I think a lot of people who come to this so-called world called entrepreneurship, usually initially it's their second platform, for majority of the crowd I'm talking about, right? It's like, they
Right,
already have their primary boat, okay, on which they are already, walking, and their life is going on. But might be, they just wanted to try out something. मतलब कुछ तो करते हैं. You got my point? And I hope
right,
today's youngsters, our age people, I would say younger than us, okay? We are a little old now. They have this fever of entrepreneurship, correct? Not? I mean, it looks
right.
cool, correct? When you say I'm a budding entrepreneur, right? But what they
True.
don't realize is they did not come here to make it big, okay? They just come to try, explore, okay? And as a secondary option. And they always have this safety net. You get my point? मतलब अगर ये नहीं भी चला तो कुछ और कर लेंगे, या तो ट्रेडिशनल
Right,
बिजनेस कर लेंगे या जॉब कर लेंगे, ठीक है, या कुछ और कर लेंगे, ठीक है. And because you always have a backup with you, so you don't give your 100% commitment, okay, to this journey, right? And I believe whether it is your acting career or my entrepreneurship journey, or I think if we go back in our life also, right? I mean, I've worked for a couple of years, okay, and I think you also did job for some time, correct, right?
yes,
And we all studied, right? I think you studied, I studied, correct. So
right,
I would say my first answer, okay, the first C for success is commitment, right? So it's not that you don't have that or I don't have within me. We had that from childhood, right? You were committed to your studies. I believe so, correct? Whether you liked it or not, you did that for 10, 15 years minimum, agree or not, right? And when you got into your
yeah.
job also, you were committed, agree or not? So was I. But Nitya, that time I think there was no other option for us, right? वो करना ही है तो करना पड़ेगा, correct?
Right.
Correct. So
Sorry to
yeah,
interrupt, Rahul. Your voice seems to be a little low. So
little low.
maybe you
Okay.
need to,
Is it more clear now?
not really. Maybe you could try wearing both the
Okay.
AirPods. That
Okay.
might
Okay.
help.
Sure. Is it better now?
Seems a little better. I think we'll just
Much
wait
better?
for the audience to message because I've been getting messages that your voice is a little low.
Okay. I think it is good now. I have connected both. Correct.
All right, let's go
Okay.
ahead. Yeah, you were
Perfect.
saying about the
Perfect.
first C.
Yeah. So I was telling it's the commitment, right, that decides how fast you will become successful or whether you will reach there, right? So I believe, Nitya, all of us have that within us. It's not that you don't have it or you have to build it again. But I think the big challenge is basically when you come to entrepreneurship, either you don't know why you got started, okay, So, you just came here to explore, okay? Or it was very fancy, a lot of people were doing it. So let me also try it because it will look good on my
Right.
Instagram as hashtag entrepreneur. You get my point? People will like it.
Right.
Or you had a goal, you want to achieve it, but you are having a safety net also, a backup option, right? And this goal is more of I would say negotiable for you. मतलब हुआ तो चलेगा,
Right.
नहीं भी हुआ तो चलेगा. Now this attitude, dilutes this first C for success called commitment, right? And then what we do, we are committed in the beginning, but the moment it takes some time for us to taste our first success in entrepreneurship, because it doesn't happen overnight, our commitment goes for a toss. But you are still committed to your primary thing, agree or not, whatever you're doing
Right.
parallel to it, right? Because कुछ
Right.
तो करना पड़ेगा ना, क्योंकि you have to earn money, agree or not, you have to take
True.
care of your bread and butter. So I think first thing which I did, Nitya, because I was also doing job along with my business, right? The first
Right.
decision which I took was to quit my job. First goal, because I knew as long as I have Deloitte as my safety net, at the back end, kahin na kahin I'll go into my comfort zone and my commitment will
True.
go for a toss. I'll give excuses. तो मैंने सोचा सबसे पहले ना इस सेफ्टी नेट को काट देते हैं और ऑल इन हो जाते हैं. Now what happened, Nitya? So the moment I left my job, business was everything for me, entrepreneurship, right? So I don't have option.
Right.
तो कुछ भी करके चलाना पड़ेगा, so I can't say चल नहीं रहा है, चलाना पड़ेगा, I don't have any other option, correct? So I would say it just was my commitment, right? And I think two reasons. One was the clarity, and second, no other option. यही करना है और इसी में grow करना है, simple सी बात है, correct? So that would be my answer to it.
Right. I think one thing that you said, clarity, is something a lot of us lack. Like you said कि सबको करना है कोई बिजनेस क्योंकि शायद ट्रेंडिंग है. मैंने भी तो लिखा अपने बायो में एक्टर हाइफन एंटरप्रेन्योर, तो दिखने में अच्छा लगता है. बट लाइक यू सेड, आई थिंक it is because of the lack of clarity that people maybe give up. And I think even for me, for the longest time, so I started acting when I was very young, when I was 4 years old. तब तो कुछ पता नहीं था, जाके कैमरा के सामने खड़ा कर दिया, and I started acting and I enjoyed it. But when I made my re-entry, it was only because people around me kept telling me that, oh, you know what, you should get into the movies. Why don't you do movies? Job क्यों कर रही हो? You तो have an opportunity. So I thought, ठीक है, try कर लेते हैं. मेरा भी वही attitude था, try कर लेते हैं. So the initial movies that I did, I'm not saying they're good or bad, but I could have done so much better. And that was because I lacked that commitment. I had not taken a decision. It was just something that I wanted to try. But when I saw myself on the big screen, when my first Telugu movie as a lead actress released, and it was full screen and people were screaming, and that gave me such a rush. And that was the day I actually decided that I want to be a good actor. I want to be a great actor. And that's when I actually understood that I have to be committed towards it. And even after that, honestly, Rahul, until I started the business, until I started interacting with people like you, I didn't understand the true meaning of it. Commitment is something that we all take so lightly, I believe, and so have I. I'm guilty of doing that as well. So whatever I have learned here about being committed to your decision, and that comes when you're clear as to why you want to do it, like you said. Once I got that clarity here, is when I could apply that in my acting as well. And I believe today, the kind of opportunities I've been getting, the kind of performance I've been delivering has also changed. And yeah, like I said, I want to be a great actor. I don't want to be just an actor. That's something that my commitment has taken me to. Also, on these lines, I wanted to ask you another question that just was running in the back of my head. Um, do you think that a lot of people are scared about being committed to their decision? जैसे commitment phobia हो जाता है, एक बार start कर लिया तो what if I fail, what if I don't succeed? Do you think people are scared of commitments in general?
So I would say people are not scared of commitment because, like I said, we have been giving commitment, right, throughout our life. Okay, but the challenge is you are scared of walking on a path which very few people walk on. Okay. See, like I said, you were committed
Right.
to your job, right? You were committed to your life also, right? Now,
Right.
as a daughter, as a mother, as a husband, as a wife, we all are committed, right? But that's normal, that's what everybody is doing, correct? But example, when it comes to your acting career, entrepreneurship, or this platforms, right? Now, I mean, hardly 5-10% people go for it, right? They want to be part of this and they want to make it big. So challenge ka aata hai, pata hai? You have this more than 90% crowd always questioning you, correct or not?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you said you. So I'm pretty sure you would have pakka come across it in your career because you've spent 2 decades,
Yeah.
right? Ki what's happening? You have been trying this for so long, right? When will you hit the big show? Correct? When will be your biggest
Right.
hit, right? Chalega, nahi chalega. I'm pretty sure you had your own critics, correct or not?
Right.
And I think that's where, when your belief is low on yourself, right? And other people are easily able to influence you, right? And I think
Right.
again, Nitya, it boils down to the decision, right? So your decision was not that strong, and somebody else was a better influencer over you, and you
Right.
just took a easy way out. Correct? Not as simple as
Right.
that.
Oh, yeah, I absolutely agree with whatever you just said. So, yeah, I think decision is what people need to take to be able to be that committed to whatever they want to do.
Correct.
Rightly said.
So in your journey, Nitya, like you said, I want to hear this from you also, right? So you said, when you first time saw people, cheering for you on the big screen, so was that the defining moment, or what exactly was that thing, ki you told, okay, I am gonna give that commitment, and no matter what, how hard this journey, because I know how you work hard. At times, I look up to you, to be very honest. I'm sharing this in front of everybody. I'm like, you're on field from morning 10 o'clock till night 1 o'clock. People look out for that output of yours, right? That movie of, or that poster or that photo. But I know how much back end works goes. For that one shot, you take 100 shots, get my point? And I don't know what all you do at the back end, right? So what was that thing for you
Yeah,
when
yeah.
when that happened?
Um, so I think I started taking it up more seriously when I saw myself on the big screen. But to pinpoint the reason why I wanted to be committed to this was honestly because I always wanted to be on a bigger stage. Like I wanted to make an impact on people. And I just felt like if I'm in this industry, and not just in India, I guess, all over the world, uh, entertainment industry, people here, stars जैसे बोलते हैं ना, people look up to them. People want to be like them. People want to follow what they are saying. And I felt like that is the uh, best way to kind of reach out to people, more people, volume wise. And I think that's why I wanted to take bigger platforms, bigger stages as an actor.
Got it. Got it. Okay. So you basically define the end goal, right? Your purpose, right? That down the lane, how do
Right,
you want to be, right? And you understood that
right,
that is only possible when you give commitment to this field. As simple
absolutely.
as that.
Right,
Perfect. Sounds good. So I think the audience got the first answer, right? The first C for success, right? Starts with the
right,
commitment, right? That first give commitment and get committed to something, anything it is, right? First give your commitment and then rest all follows. Okay.
right,
Okay. So now I think I will ask you a question. Okay. Right. Since you asked me a couple of questions. Okay. So now Nitya, let's
okay.
say you took the commitment or you gave the commitment. Okay. Now once the commitment is given, what do you think is the next step? Okay, for you to really make it big, right? Because I believe a lot of people, Nitya, in your acting also or in entrepreneurship, right? So they have zero experience at times, right? They don't know what to do. Correct. They don't know what is the first step or the second step, right? And so let's say I'm committed. I want to do something. I really want to achieve something, right? I know the goal also. But then
Right.
what's the next step? What should I do?
You know, this what the scenario that you just explained, I was there too. I wanted to do something very badly, but what I lacked was a sense of direction. And I got my direction when I was ready to learn. And when I say being ready to learn, I also mean being willing to unlearn. And this is something that I have to practice in my acting career every single day of the shoot. Because, especially for me, since I started acting at a very young age, I feel like, हाँ ये तो मुझे पता है, मैं तो बचपन से कर रही हूँ. And sometimes I get to this point where if somebody is directing, not the director, but if they're giving me directions, ki, you should take the light like this, maybe you should say your line like this. In my mind, I'm thinking, huh, I know this. I have done this for longer time than you. मुझे क्या बोल रहे हो? Then I have to remind myself, मैं अभी चिरंजीवी नहीं बनी हूँ, शाहरुख खान नहीं बनी हूँ. And there is a reason why I'm not there yet. So I need to unlearn. I need to be ready to take suggestions, implement them, especially from the leader of the ship in our industry who's a director. So I think being ready to have a coach, being coachable, is is very important. Once you take that decision, once you know what you want, you need somebody to guide you, to give you that direction. And I think that it would be the second C for success, being coachable. And I'm very fortunate that I have understood the prominence of it um, through the business as well. Like I said, I call you my coach, and there is a reason for that. I remember when we would have conversations initially when I started my business, and I was so amazed by the clarity that you had because you knew what you wanted and you knew the direction that you have to take to get there. So I want to ask you, Rahul, as a coach, as somebody who has more experience than me in the business, been, who's I'm sure has more exposure than me, what does it feel like to be in that position, to be the coach? What is your take on this second C of being coachable?
Okay, okay. So I think rightly, you said very rightly, right? The second thing that we need, okay, is be ready to learn and unlearn, right? So, Nitya, a lot of people think, like you were telling, that when you be part of a business, right? Or when you've already seen some success before, okay? So a lot of people used to think that, when I came to this journey, I was a very good student, I was a very good learner, okay? And because what they see is the today, right? They don't see the 5 years back, Rahul, right? So you see the version 5.0. You don't
Right.
see version 1.0 or 0.0, correct not? So let me very honest to you. I think only my coach knows this. How full cup I was. So in my language, I call it full cup. And I would say the reason behind it, because I think all of us carry some past success, okay? Right? Like you were also telling, right? So let's say if you have done one hit movie before, correct not? So let's say if you carry that to your next project, like you said, it's going to be a challenge for you, right? Because everything is different in the
Yeah.
next project. So I think same way for me now, because Deloitte was already there, I was edified in my own head, right? And did little bit of good education on merit basis, which I don't want to talk about again. So I think that thing was always there on the top of my head that, I'm already part of that top 10%. You get my point, in the previous careers or the previous whatever I was doing. So when I came to this journey, I was carrying that success. I was carrying that in a form of ego also, correct not? कि मुझे बहुत कुछ आता है, I know it all, right? But when I got my first 2-3 failures, to be very frank, I did not get the result the way I wanted. हिंदी में बोलते ना, मैं मुंह के बल जब गिरा था. You got my point. In my first 2-3 months, right? Then I realized, okay, bro, you are not expert here. Okay, so you need to learn from somebody else who is doing it. Okay, so what happens, I think, Nitya, is a lot of entrepreneurs today, because they tried something before or they did
Hmm.
something else, so they think that this is gonna be exactly like that. Okay, but what I always say is, unless and until you did something, not tried, and you actually became successful in that, you cannot tell I know it or I have experience about it, right? बट आजकल लोग क्या करते हैं ना, टच करके आते हैं, अच्छा ट्राई किया था, राइट? एंड जैसे हाँ मैंने भी किया तो था. भाई तुमने किया नहीं था, तुमने दूर से देखा था. यू गॉट माय पॉइंट. उसको
Right.
करना नहीं बोलते हैं, उसको सिर्फ कोशिश करना बोलते हैं, राइट? सो आई थिंक दैट वाज माय
Absolutely.
जर्नी. Yeah, that was my journey, okay, Nitya. But I would say the turning point, okay? Now, I was told from childhood that skill set is the game, correct? Because that's what my resume had. You get my point? All the skills which I had,
Yeah.
agree or not, right?
Been there.
And I made a very, very fancy resume of 2 pages, to get my first thing, correct? But I realized to be entrepreneur, skill set is important. I'm not telling no. But before skill set, you need something else also, correct? Which is the right mindset. Okay. Because skills, see, you can always learn, right? We have always been upgrading our skills in our job also, in the business also.
Right.
I'm pretty sure you have been upgrading your skill set. I have been upgrading my skill set 5 years later
Right.
also, 2 years later also. But उसके पहले क्या चाहिए? Mindset. तो सबसे पहले मुझे यहाँ पे भी कोचेबल बनना पड़ा थ्रू माय कोच कि बाबा I need to work on this. Okay, because what I did initially, Nitya, I always used to tell my coach, okay, कि okay, don't tell me all of this. ये सब ज्ञान की बातें, ये सब मुझे मत बताओ. मुझे करना क्या है वो बोलो. You got a point? Tell me what to do. Tell me the action. Tell me the action, action, action. And my coach was like, bro, it doesn't work like that. If you were already ready for it, you would have already become a millionaire. I said, so true. Correct or not?
At least.
And then it took 6 months. Okay, take a back seat, calm down, forget your past success. Okay, and let's get ready to, like you said, unlearn. Okay, remove your past. And I call it in a software language, right? It's like, you are resetting or you're formatting, right? Or you're rebooting the software. You got my point? Because this I call, Nitya, as your software, okay, which was programmed in your last 25, 30 years, correct? Before you started a new journey, which
Right.
sadly was not a right software or a right programming to be a successful entrepreneur or whatever industry you
Right.
go for, correct or not? Because I think our surroundings were not the ones, true or not? So I understood, मुझे इसको क्लीन करना पड़ेगा, रीसेट करना पड़ेगा, रीबूट करना पड़ेगा, अनइंस्टॉल करना पड़ेगा और इसको
Uninstall. Right.
करेक्ट रीप्रोग्राम करना पड़ेगा. And will that be easy again? No. Correct or not? Because I have to remove my
Definitely not.
25 years of conditioning and recondition myself again. Correct? So it was not easy, Nitya, to be very honest. Okay. So first thing, okay, when I had to be a learning student. But then, like, so your question was, how is it to be a coach? I would
Right.
say that is more difficult, to be very honest, after a period of time. Because, it's like now that you were also exactly like Nitya. You get my point, right? You also
Yeah.
come from a similar background and you're trying to make that person understand कि भाई, I was also like you. You get my point? Please understand, please listen to me. And it's very
Right.
easy, it's very simple. बस इसको follow कर ले हो जाएगा. But the other person is exactly like me 5 years back. You get my point?
Right.
Correct. Right? So it's like everybody's in the same boat. So it takes time and you need lot of patience. Lot of patience.
Absolutely.
So I think thanks to this journey, my at least patience, okay, I would say not in every aspect of life, but at least this aspect of life when I'm dealing with people have increased, correct? Because initially I used to get frustrated, I used to get irritated कि नित्या सुन क्यों नहीं रही है, example, right? Why is she not understanding,
हाँ.
why is she not learning, why is she not implementing,
I'm sure
why is
आपने
she...
सोचा होगा मेरे जर्नी में कभी ना कभी कि सुन क्यों नहीं रही, समझ क्यों नहीं रही है.
हाँ, मतलब बिकॉज मैंने भी किया था ना, तो सबके साथ होता है, करेक्ट नॉट? बट
Right.
देन आई रियलाइज कि it's not your mistake also, correct not? Because the way I took time, you also will take time, right? And all of our time
Yeah.
can be different, the timeline, because you have your past, correct? I have my past, right? So depending on that and how willingly, or how willing are we, correct not, to again learn, agree or not? And is it again sync with our commitment? You got my point? Because if you really
Right.
want to achieve that thing, you have given a commitment, you know that if you don't learn, it is not possible, right? So I
Absolutely.
believe, I think, Nitya, in your journey also, right? Whenever, like you said, at times you used to go to few movie sets thinking I know it, right? So that was a time because might be, वो end goal clear नहीं था, right? But I think जब एक बार
हाँ.
आपको clarity आ गई थी कि यार मुझे एकदम
हाँ.
बड़ा रॉकस्टार बनना है, सुपरस्टार बनना है, right? Then you were like, बॉस
Right.
सीखना पड़ेगा, learn करना पड़ेगा, option नहीं है, correct or not?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right.
You've
So I
you've
hope
rightly
did I
summarized
answer?
whatever my perspective was on the second C. लेकिन मुझे अभी मेरे दिमाग में और एक सवाल आया इसी point पे.
Okay.
There's just so much that I want to know from you. So since you have met so many people, is there some tip for you to know कि ये बंदा ready है या नहीं unlearn करने के लिए, कुछ सीखने के लिए? How do you know that?
So I have an answer for this. Okay, it's a very funny answer. Okay, So this I used to do. That's why I have the answer. Okay. So my coach used to always tell me, the moment you say I know, it's a sign that you are a full cup, right? And you're not ready to learn. And what you're doing is, before somebody is trying to tell you what to do, you give a statement, I know. Might be verbally or might be in your head. You got my point?
Right.
Correct. So at times, even if you know it, you get my point. It's nothing wrong in listening to it again, because might be, let's say out of that 100%, 98%, right? But that 2% thing can be something different which somebody else is trying to tell you. But हम क्या करते हैं ना, हाँ मुझे पता है, I know it, we go, and when, again, like I said, either you come across a failure or you fall flat on your face, right? You come back
Right.
and say, sorry, coach, correct? I should have listened to you, correct? I should have, said, I don't know, let me listen to you. So I would say this is my tip to check whether the person is ready or not, or whether he's a full cup or an empty cup. I think it's the I know attitude, okay? Or every time you say I know, number of times in a day, it's a sign how full cup you are or how empty cup you are. As simple as that.
As you were saying this, I was trying to think, how often do I say I know? And I realized, मैं so sorry about that interruption. I realized कि मैं बहुत बार बोलती हूँ and to you, Rahul. I know, but तो आप जैसे बोल रहे हो I'm being a full cup in our language, right? उसके बाद whatever follows after but has no significance. When I say I know,
Agree.
oh my God, it's something that I have to be very mindful of. I'm so glad that you brought this up in this discussion. I'm going to actively not say I know, because I know there are a lot of things that I don't know. So yeah,
Correct.
that is our second C, which is being coachable. Now,
And I would add one point here, before we go to the next one, okay, or before you shoot your next question, okay, a difficult one, right? My mentor told me a one more way, or my coach, okay, that there are three worlds, okay. One is I know what I know. Second is I know what I don't know, and third is I don't know what I don't know, okay. Because you need to understand, Nitya, that this world is, I mean, it's mighty, right? You're like in a universe, in a galaxy, right? And who are we? A tiny particle, correct? Sitting in some part of Hyderabad, which is some part of Telangana, some part of
right,
India, some part of Asia, some part of so-called world. You get my point? Which is some part of the Earth and some part of galaxy. You get my point? So, इतने बड़े universe में we are this tiny particle. So how can you say I know everything? You hardly know 1%. And this was my biggest learning from my coach. He said, bro, you only know 1% of the world. But you think that 1% is 99%.
right,
Okay. And he told me, you don't know 99% of things. Okay. And the moment you accept that, right, you will start being more curious. Your curiosity will increase. Because अरे और 99% चीजें हैं explore करने के लिए, so I can learn lot of things, right? And that's when you will become more receptive. You will be ready to listen more and learn more from somebody, because every person you meet, Nitya, like I think I always tell you, right? I don't know about acting. I don't know about movie career. Agree or not? So if I meet you, I would love to listen to you first, because that will give me
yes,
a chance to learn more from you rather than me doing blah 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 and throwing my stuff on you. It doesn't make sense. As simple as that. So I would say
right,
being coachable again has one more way to look at it. It's the second C for
right.
success, basically.
Right, right. Yeah, I remember from our conversations that it was never one way. If I would tell you something about my work, my movies, acting, and all that, you would listen. आपने कभी ये नहीं बोला कि हाँ ये तो मैं जानता हूँ. I don't know if you knew it or no, but yeah, cool. So now that we know that there has to be commitment and we need to be coachable, what is the big revelation? What is the third C for success?
The third C for success. Now, I would say this is one of the most controversial C also, basically, correct? Which everybody knows, everybody have it in them, and they have been that person throughout their life. Okay. So if I tell you honestly, okay, Nitya, let me ask you one, two questions, okay, to reveal the third C, okay. When did you start going to school? I think when you were 3 or 4 years old, 4 or 5 years old, right or not?
Yeah, around that time.
Correct?
Yeah.
Right. And let's say if you have did your graduation also in a minimum scale, correct or not? So how many years you gave over there?
So maybe 17, 18 years.
Correct. So 16 to 18 years average, right? Whether you did the
Right.
pre-nursery, whatever you call it, right? Until your graduation, post-graduation, right? Now, so that means you're telling me from the age of 4 till the age of 21, 22, correct? Every day morning you used to get up, correct? Get ready, take your bag, correct not? And go to school, right? Then intermediate, then college. Agree or not? Now, let's say for people who do their work, okay? Now, if I talk about my dad, okay, he started, doing his own business at the age of less than 20, around 16, 17, 18, right? And right now is close to 55, 60, okay? Right, though today he has a choice, but I would say for 30 plus years, he showed up every day. So he never came and told me or my younger brother or my mom that, beta, today I'm not feeling good, so I can't go to work or I can't go and open my shop. You get my point, right? And I
Right.
believe if you are a mother or a father, whatever, right? Or if you are that person who's a bread earner, you get my point. I don't want to discriminate anybody, right? And let's say if you are taking care of your family, right? You start working at 2021 and you do it till 60. Agree or not?
Yeah.
Did you ever tell, no, today my mood is not good? I don't think so. I want to take a break. Correct or not?
I don't think we have that kind of luxury.
Correct? I don't think so.
Right.
Your parents, my parents ever did that, right? Correct or not?
No.
So what does that mean? The third C for success is very simple. That's called consistency. Agree or not? And the reason I gave you this examples, Nitya, because I did not wanted to put this as something, which people don't have. Everybody, I'm pretty sure everybody who's listening to us right now or around, they all have it in them, Baba. My dad has it. Your family have it. My family have it. My grandfather have it for 70 plus years. You got my point? Right? They are the
Right.
epitome of consistency. You got my point? I believe so, right? But
Absolutely.
the challenges when it comes to entrepreneurship, again, the challenges, okay? Like I said, when it's a secondary thing for you, right? Or when it is not your last boat, or you don't have a responsibility on you which you are answerable to, correct not? And you have a fallback option again. So what you do, you're consistent somewhere else, but you're not consistent here. Now tell me, how is it possible, Nitya? Same person, how can you show two characters?
I don't know. I'm surprised. Like you said, when you say consistency, it sounds like a very difficult thing to do. How do you show up every day? But I just realized that I went through my schooling and college consistently. Yeah.
Correct,
How
because
is
I
it
think
possible? How are people doing it, coach?
correct, because I think you had clarity that if you don't do it, right, you will not get, let's say, your career. You got my point? You will not grow up in society. Agree or not? So you knew the
Right.
consequence of not doing it. You get my point? मतलब आपको पता था कि बेटा अगर आप डिग्री नहीं लोगे तो या तो आपको जॉब नहीं मिलेगा या तो आपकी शादी नहीं
Huh.
होगी, right? Because the first two
True.
things, which people are scared about, right? So when you know the output and the consequence, right, and you don't have an option, you are by default consistent. Agree or not? So my
Right.
dad knew all this year that if he does not go to shop, how will the family run until I started making money, right? So he has to be consistent. He don't have an option, right? Okay, forget about entrepreneurship, Nitya. Let's say if I was working in Deloitte, I was consistent for 3.5 years. I never told, okay, today I don't want to or whatever, right? I did that consistently because that was my primary source of income. Agree or not? And if this thing
Right.
would have not happened to me in my life, I would have been consistent for 35, 40 years without any doubt, without any question. Correct or not? So I think
Absolutely.
there's
Yeah.
there's, there's nothing big in this. Correct? It's very normal. Correct? And I always say this, journey. No matter how good, how bad, no matter whether the sunrise was good or bad or the sunset was good or bad, right? You have to show up every day, Baba. Correct or not? Because it was your commitment, right? You told you wanted to achieve something, right? तो अगर आपको
Right.
कुछ चाहिए तो उसके लिए आपको काम करना पड़ेगा डेली. Correct or not? But I think
Yeah.
people lack consistency, Nitya, because they did not give the commitment, right? Or they did not get committed to something. So either they were lying, ki, oh, no, I am committed. You get my point. I have a goal. I want to achieve this. I mean, it was again
Right.
a negotiable goal, correct? क्योंकि अगर वो नॉन नेगोशिएबल होता नित्या कि मुझे कैसे भी चाहिए, राइट, कुछ भी करके हासिल करना है, तो आपके पास चॉइस का है. यू हैव टू बी कंसिस्टेंट, यू हैव टू वर्क एवरी डे. करेक्ट और नॉट?
Right.
Correct. Every day is not gonna be a sunny day. You got my point, right? You'll have, you know, मतलब rainy days, you'll have winter, you'll have, but
Right.
आएगा, आपका टाइम भी आएगा, correct? But you have to show up every day. And I always believe this, Nitya. God will only give to people, okay, who will stand the test of time. You got my point, right? वो
Right.
हिंदी में बोलते हैं ना, भगवान के घर में देर है अंधेर नहीं. You got my point. But लोग क्या करते हैं पता है? वो देर अंधेर के पहले ही क्विट कर देते हैं. You got my point.
Right.
ठीक है?
Yeah.
सिंपल सी बात है. I mean, okay, let's be very more practical, okay? Tell me, Nitya, one thing, okay? In your acting career also, right? Or in any athletes or any sports personalities, which people would more agree to relate to. Weren't they consistent? Was Sachin not consistent? Was Shah Rukh Khan not consistent? Was Usain Bolt not consistent, right? They did the same thing for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 years. That is why world knows them.
True.
That's why they are the master blaster and so-called the King Khan and all of that of the so-called industries. Agree or not? Right?
Right. The fact that we are taking their names, although they are not actively participating in their respective fields today, shows that they have been consistent for whatever period of time that they were on field, maybe 15, 20 years. Yeah, I think that is so true, especially for us in people in the entertainment industry. If we don't show up, people forget us. It's just as simple as that. Uh, and I know this firsthand because initially, because I had not decided that I want to be a great actor. बस करना था, कर ले रही थी. So because of that lack of consistency, I barely had like one movie release every year. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It is still a good thing, but I could have done more. If I had been consistent with my efforts, the output would have been different. And I remember you talking about this so many times to just show up. Doesn't matter what your mood is, just show up. और आपने ये एग्जाम्पल भी दिया था ट्रेडिशनल बिजनेस के बारे में because your dad, you come from a traditional business family. Your dad has been running a business for so many years. So this is something that you have seen. And I remember you telling me this कि जब तक आपने ये point out नहीं किया था, I didn't realize that we see so many businessmen around us. छोटे दुकान से लेके medium businesses, everybody shows up to work. Whether it's festival, somebody's wedding in their house, somebody dies in their house, doesn't matter. दुकान तो खुलेगा ही पक्का. So I think if I have taken a decision, it just is inevitable. I will want to show up every day. Yeah, there may be bad days. All of us have bad days, especially like you said, as an entrepreneur, it's always a roller coaster. But if we are consistent, I have seen you being successful. So that's where my belief in consistency has come. So, coach, now that we have revealed all the three C's, um, commitment, being coachable, and being consistent. Is there something that you would like to add on to this discussion? Anything from your journey that can connect all the three dots?
No, I think it's pretty much again, it's just that they three are already connected, Nitya, right? It's like I said, first of all, you should have that thing that you want to achieve something, you want to do something, as simple as that, right? Because unless until you have that, or let's say I would say if you're okay where you are, then all these three will go for a toss, as simple as it, right? Now, so
Right.
it's like, I was not okay where I was, to be very honest. And I'm not okay where I am today also. That's why I'm still committed. I'm ready to learn and I'm being consistent, right? Otherwise, I could have, well, done a lot of other things. You get my point? So it's always, having a next goal, a next goal, a bigger goal, a bigger goal. Or I would say, on a broader line, it becomes your purpose, right? Because after a period of time when you're making a decent money and all of that, right? You need to have a bigger and a better purpose. And I would say, thanks to our culture, thanks to our ethics, thanks to our people whom I work with, they have instilled this in me that Rahul always have a bigger thing, a bigger purpose. Okay, you want to do a better thing or a bigger thing for people around, and I think that's what keeps me going today. So yes, commitment has already been given for life. I never came in with this deadline, Nitya. I will try for 1 year, I'll try for 2 years. No, I did not come that
Right.
way. I'll tell you one thing. My coach always tell me, it's not about कब तक करना पड़ेगा. It's about तब तक करेंगे जब तक होगा नहीं. You got my point? Simple सी बात है. Because
Right.
today's entrepreneurs are,
So
बोले
beautifully said.
भाई, हाँ भाई कब तक करना पड़ेगा? How long should I do this? Bloody, you have to do it as long as you don't. Agree or not? Because you
Right.
wanted to achieve something, you wanted to reach somewhere. तो why are you questioning it? बाकी सब तो करते हो ना जब तक नहीं, मतलब कुछ ऑप्शन नहीं होता है. करेक्ट नॉट? तो my coach always told me, तब तक करना पड़ेगा राहुल जब तक you don't achieve everything that you want to achieve, right? No matter whether it
Right.
takes 5 years or 15 years, you have to do it. As simple as that. So I would say commitment, then get ready to change, because you have to be the change, correct? And that's the theme that we are running for. You know it, what I'm talking about, right? So you have to change
Right.
yourself, correct? Not, and then show up
Right.
every day. I would say that's my summary. So what do you think? I
Yeah.
think in your 2 decades of journey, you have spent more time, right? Though it's been, a
Yeah.
roller coaster on and off, like you said, right? But in your 2+ decades of journey, don't you think these three were there always, right? Or do they made sure that whatever success you got, or whenever you did not get, those three only were responsible for it? If you just want to make people understand.
Now that I look back, I have only started tasting a little bit of success once these three were in alignment. And I knew there would be more information from you, इसलिए मैंने last में वो question पूछा था. Because, like you said, if I was okay where I was doing a corporate job and I was happy. It's not like I did not like what I was doing. I was happy, but I wanted more. And I think that desire, if people have, that's when they will think about the three C's. And that is when you will run for success. Um, and I'm so grateful, coach, honestly, कि आप जैसे लोगों का संगत का असर हो गया है मेरे पे. And I have been applying all these in my acting career as well. So I believe as an entrepreneur, it's not just about numbers and statistics. I think it shapes you as a person. You change as a person, and that has an effect in all other areas of your life as well, which is something that I have been experiencing. So yeah, now that I look back, it's because of all these three C's: commitment, being coachable, and consistent. I am fortunately busy with my acting jobs, and thank you so much for being a part of this live. I have learned so much. Although I have been in communication with you, interacting with you for so many years, there are a few things that I have learned new tonight. So thank you so much. I'm looking forward to doing more of these conversations, having more of these conversations with you. So whenever you can take out a little bit of time for all of us, I
I,
think
I,
we
I,
should keep chatting.
I would say thanks to you, okay, not to me, and I'm not so busy or not yet reached there, correct or not? There's still a long way to go. Like you said, just
Right.
tasted the first level of success, okay? Still long way to go, because we have bigger goals, I believe, right? And a bigger purpose to fulfill, correct? So long way to go. अभी तो 30-40 साल और बाकी है, correct? We are just 30, correct? We still have a lot of things to do.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I just wanted to say a little. I wanted to address all the viewers. If you guys want to discuss more on this topic, the three C's for success, you can reach out to either me or my coach Rahul. I will tag. his Instagram handle as well on the live. And yeah, do reach out to us, send us DMs or anything. And I'm sure Rahul also would be open to having a conversation. He's always open to talking to new people,
Sure,
getting to
sure.
know their perspectives as much as I have known him. So, guys, go ahead, reach out to him, reach out to me. Maybe we can take the conversation further because we are a little pressed for time tonight. That's why I'm like
Yes, yes.
just quickly ending this discussion. So
And I
we can
would say,
continue this
and I would,
PM.
and I would say thanks to everybody from my side also. And I would say thanks once again to you. And yes, let's look forward to have few more whenever we come up with some other topic, and might be we can come once again live, to discuss few other things. And if they got something, everybody who's watching, I think that's good, correct? Not, I think the purpose is served, correct? As simple as that.
Absolutely. All right then. I hope you guys got some good information. I hope it was productive, and like you said, it served its purpose. So see you all again very soon. See you very soon, Rahul. Thank you so much
Thank
again.
you.
Bye bye.
Thank you so much, Nitya. Bye bye.